Today I'm going to talk about one of the best gifts that my therapist ever gave me. This is not a gift that my therapist gave me. I don't think she gave me any physical gifts, and I think that would be probably unethical. Anyway, but this is the last gift that I received, and I want to use it as a prop, so here we are. If you're curious about this gift, it's a self-reflection kit, and it's from a company called We're Not Really Strangers. Can you see it? We're Not Really Strangers. My partner got this for me for Valentine's Day because when we first started dating, I somehow found this card game called We're Not Really Strangers. It's a card game that builds connection, and there's different levels, and you play with either your friends or you can play with, someone you're dating. And there's different levels that goes from like level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 1 is kind of just like first impression about the person that you're playing with or the people that you're playing with, like, it was your first impression of me. And then as the levels go on, it gets deeper and deeper, and the prompts on the card gets deeper and deeper. And we played that when we first started dating, and we both enjoyed it. And so I guess Shaun went and looked up We're Not Really Strangers and found other products that this company was selling and bought more card games for us to play. And you know how when you buy something online, they take your email address and then just like send you marketing ads like forever until you go out of your way to unsubscribe. Yeah, so that's what happened. She got a Valentine's Day marketing email. And here we are, capitalism. But as much as I hate capitalism and marketing and getting targeted ads, this is actually a really cool gift because I actually do a self-reflection every week. I usually, there's a notebook here, you actually handwrite it, and there's a pen too. And I usually do it on my computer, but I'll have to start doing it like physically writing. Like, how do I hold a pen again? I don't remember. I never use a pen now. I'm at work. My handwriting sucks. She also gave me this deck of cards. It's a New Year's edition. So, for example, I will give you an example what this card game is about. New Year's edition. Okay, this card says, what's something nice that you want to be able to do for someone else next year that you can't do today? You think about that. Oh, and she also got this mug for me. It's a We're Not Really Strangers mug. There's water in it. And it says, you're good for my mental health. Thanks, babe. Welcome to the Queer Millennial. My name is Angel, and today we're going to talk about one of the greatest gifts my therapist ever gave me. So this week I was working on a blog post, which was 5 important things that no one ever tells you about starting therapy for the first time. And point number 4 was about how your therapist might assign you homework assignments, and then they might not follow up on it, and why. So when I first started therapy, I was receiving a dialectical behavioral therapy based therapy. As part of DBT, there's like some skills that you need to learn, and my therapist was assigning me homework assignments every week when we first started therapy. And during the week I would go do it, and then I would come back, and the next session she would ask me how the homework went. And so this kept happening a couple times, and I was always looking forward to her asking me about my homework assignment so I could say my homework assignment. And one day, instead of asking me about my homework assignment, she said, so what would you like to talk about today? Are you gonna ask me about my homework assignment? Like, I did it. Like, do you not care anymore? Why would you assign me homework if it's not important? I do it for nothing? Like, hello? Ask me about my damn homework assignment. I was speechless, just like I was now. Like I didn't know what was happening. And I was like, just like thrown out of the loop. I was like, this is not a routine start for a therapy session. Like, what? Anyway, basically, somehow I brought it up and she explained to me that she wanted me to bring up my homework assignment because it was my therapy session. And this was the beginning of her teaching me and me relearning that I had agency and control over my life. And that was one of the greatest gifts that she ever gave me. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you what I got Shaun for Valentine's Day. I will show you later at the end of the video. Some things that I worked in therapy were surrounding a lot of this topic. So work-wise, I don't think I was really happy with my situation at the time. My relationship with my parents wasn't exactly how I really wanted it to be. My dating life wasn't really what I wanted it to be. There's one more. What was it? Oh, my health. My health situation, my exercise situation, which was my non-existent exercise situation. You know, I really wasn't happy about that. And I had this mentality that this was all because my work schedule is crazy, so inconsistent, and it made me so tired, so I couldn't work out. And even when I have my days off, I have to, you know, run errands, and I just don't have time to work out and take care of my health. And my sleep schedule sucks, and my parents will always be my parents, and they're never gonna change, and I'll never be able to be right with them. They'll always be right, and I'll always be wrong. And dating is just like, it's just something that I was working on by myself. Because what am I gonna do? Take my therapist to my date with me? No. I got into this mindset that nothing I did would ever change anything, and this was just the situation that I was in, and I would just have to deal with it, basically. And, you know, when I guess complained about all this stuff, she was able to see it, my whole situation, with kind of an objective eye, and she didn't have all the past experiences that I had going into this situation. And she explained to me this concept called learned helplessness. And you can Google this, but I'll try to explain it. So basically, way back when people abused animals, they say this on their internet that it was like coincidental that they found that this happened, but it was definitely probably not. So they had experience on 3 sets of dogs. So group 1, the dogs were put in harnesses and then they'd be let go. In group 2, they would apply a shock to the dogs, but then the dogs could stop the shock by pressing on a lever. And then group 3, the dogs would experience shocks at like random times and there wouldn't be any way to stop the shocks. And so when they brought all the dogs back into the same little like confined space, and they had an opening, like a way to escape, like they could hop over this little fence into a different area, or they could just come out of the cage. What happened was when they put the dogs in there, the dogs in group 1 and 2 would escape. So they would either jump over the little fence or just run out of the cage. But the dogs in group 3 had learned that there's nothing that they could ever do to escape the shocks. And so they just stayed there and didn't escape, even if they could. And the way to teach the dogs that they could actually escape was to physically go in there and drag them out. And so she explained this concept to me and basically said, you're the dog in group 3. I mean, she didn't say it like that, but you know what I mean. Basically, I was dog 3. I was a dog in group 3 who just had basically given up on life and just accepted my fate, even though there was definitely things that I could have done. So what she does was take me by my hair and drag me out of my cage. Just kidding, she didn't do that. So she slowly worked with me through each of these issues that I mentioned prior, like my work. Could I ask to be trained in a different area? Could I ask to do this? Could I negotiate this kind of schedule? Stuff like that got my brain working, and sometimes we would come up with a plan together as well. For my parents, my relationship with my parents, she helped me see that the relationship that I had with my parents when I was a child is different than the relationship I can have with my parents as an adult. For example, during COVID, my mom got acute appendicitis and had to go to the hospital and get emergent surgery, and I didn't hear about this until she got out of surgery, and the way that I heard about it was via text through my dad after the surgery. I was so mad. I was like, dude, why couldn't you just tell me as you were driving to the hospital? And I get this through a text. You couldn't even call me. I was so mad. I wanted to yell at them. I'm like, you know why I never tell you anything about my life? Because you don't tell me anything about your life and what's going on with you. Okay, so I didn't say that. I kept that all to myself because that was the way that the structure was in my home. I couldn't be mad about things and waste my anger about things. And I talked to my therapist about this, and she was like asking questions like, well, why were you mad? Like, why? What was the emotion beneath the anger? And somehow she dug, and I don't remember what questions that she actually asked, but basically she made me realize that I was angry because what if something had gone wrong? I know appendectomies are like, the surgeon can do that in their sleep probably, and it's very routine surgery. But you know what? Anesthesia, I feel like it's a major surgery if you go under anesthesia. And so I realized that I was angry because what if something happened and I never got to talk to my mom again? And that was it. That hits pretty hard, I think. When I realized this, my therapist said, you could tell them in this way in how you really feel, and that might be taken better than if you went and yelled at them and literally said, you know why I don't tell you things? Because you don't tell me anything, like a child. From this experience, I learned that the way that I show up in the relationship can change the dynamic of the entire relationship. Only one person can change the dynamic between two people. And that's pretty powerful, I think. I don't need to show up the way that I showed up as a child and stay in that child role. I can show up as an adult and share my thoughts and feelings. And if my parents are reasonable people, they will take it to heart. What was the third thing? Oh, my health thing and my being tired all the time. For this situation, there was something that she mentioned just like offhandedly, just like one sentence, and the entire time that we were together. And she said, in terms of my days off and trying to get exercise in, she said, it just takes a little bit of planning. And I said nothing, like I'm saying nothing right now. Because when you have a really inconsistent schedule, it's really hard to plan your life. You feel like you're just playing catch up. And by the time that you have a day off, you're just running around with your head cut off, trying to do all these errands, go to the grocery store so you have food so you don't starve, and go get gas so you can drive to work the next day. And she said, just takes a little bit of planning. And we ended therapy like a year ago, and I'm finally doing it. And it works. It really works. Now I sit down and I plan my whole week when I have a day off, and it really helps me organize It takes a lot of time up front to sit down and just plan everything that you need to do. But during the week when you're running around, you're going to work, it really helps to have a schedule, and you don't even have to think about what you need to do. You just follow whatever you put in your calendar. I watched this video about time blocking on YouTube, and it's been really helpful. It really taught me like all the things that you can do with Google Calendar and what you can fit into your life. So I will link that down below as well. Basically, she taught me that I was a prisoner of my own mind. I set these limits and these cages around me that weren't even there, that were just in my mind, that I didn't even try to escape out of the cage, out of the shock. I didn't even try, and I had given up. And she showed me that there are things that you can do to change your situation. There's always things that you can do no matter how stuck you feel, and you're really just limited by your own mind and your own excuses. I'm sorry to say it, because I was limited by my own mind, and all I had was freaking excuses. So like this video if this video was thought-provoking. Maybe you have some areas in your life where you feel stuck and you feel like you can't do anything. If you have one of those situations that come to mind, comment below if you can relate, and make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any videos in the future. Now, for the gift that I gave Shaun. Do you consent to being in this video?
I do.
Okay.
Am I supposed to be in this video? Should I take my headphones off?
You don't have to. I would like you to show the internet peoples the gift that I gave you
Wait, what gift that you gave me?
for Valentine's Day.
Oh.
All right, I guess I'm following you.
Wait, are you talking about... Okay. You're talking about this?
I guess I can't change the view. Can I change the thingy? I can't change the thingy.
You can. I forgot how to do it, though. You're trying to change it to this, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work. All right, well, then we must come over here. What is this thing? It's not working.
It's focused on something else. Did you press the button?
What focus?
I don't know.
Clearly, I don't know how to use this gimbal
It
thing.
just takes practice.
Do it again.
I use this in meetings on a daily basis.
Do you recommend?
I highly recommend this. When you're sitting in a meeting and listening, and you're like, why am I in this meeting? And you're just thinking, that's pretty much what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm feeling. So this gets daily use, is what I'm saying. I don't quite spam it that much, but